Hello guys, welcome back to TechCruise. Today we're going to be doing the in-depth review on the NAMI Super Stellar. So we'll start on the specs of the NAMI Super Stellar. We have got dual 1000 watt motors. We have a 52 volt 25 amp hour battery. We've got 25 amp hour sine wave controllers. So they are sine wave and not square controllers, as many of you may know that NAMI used to only stick with square controllers for quite a while, and they've finally kind of upgraded themselves and now have sine wave controllers, which is really nice. We've got 9-inch street tires. We've got a the range that we got on the NAMI Super Stellar was 67 kilometers. We got a max speed of 56, 57. It's around that speed. It's normally between 50 to 60, and it kind of matters how much you weigh and what kind of wind conditions you're in. We have 2 piston hydraulic brakes. So they're not cabled brakes and not drum brakes. These work really well, they're super strong. We've got an LCD display. The charge time of the battery is 12 hours. We do only have a single charging port, so you can't charge it faster because you don't have 2 ports, you've only got a single one. And the weight of the scooter is 29.9 kilograms or just 30 kilograms. So talking about the specs and keeping in mind of how my experience has been riding the NAMI Super Stellar, first of all, the dual motors of the 1000 watts. I am honestly shocked how much power it provides with the scooter. I may be chilling at like 25-30 kilometers an hour, and I floor it, and that thing launches. Like, it's so instant. The torque is ridiculous. I haven't had any problems climbing up any hills. Maybe during like some off-road hills, it is a bit harder on grass because obviously we do have the street tires. But using that compromisation, as because we have street tires, we have the best possible grip on concrete and asphalt. And they are really, probably the suspension also makes the ride a lot smoother than what it actually is. Just not only having the street tires, knowing that they're flat and there's no bumps in them, the suspension also absorbs all of the massive bumps that you get on the scooter, and they perform really well. We do have that 52 volt 25 amp hour battery, which is right in the middle here. I was honestly shocked how far we managed to go on one full charge. I was probably expecting around like 50 kilometers, maybe 60. So that was definitely a big trip. We managed to do 67 kilometers. I mean, that is insane. For a scooter that doesn't look massive, but 67 is pretty impressive. And knowing that we weren't like only sitting at 25 kilometers an hour with no incline, just flat surface and non-stop going, and no wind, we did it in pretty, not rough conditions, but they weren't like the easiest conditions for this scooter. We did have many hills, we had many different different terrains that we had to conquer, and we also had quite a bit of wind while doing it as well. So I'm very impressed. Probably if we had perfect conditions, we probably could have hit that 70 kilometer mark. But I'm still really impressed of how far this battery was able to go by itself. So let's start from the top. From the top, we have these 2 LED lights here. They're always on. They're like daytime running lights on like the modern cars that we have now. They are really nice. They're like sort of, instead of having like the flash or the reflector that we have up here, they've actually integrated lights into these. And not only are these cool by themselves, they're also indicators. So as you can see, we have that right turn indicator turning on, which is probably one of the coolest things I've seen, because we do have that feature where people in front of us can see which direction we're turning. And we can also turn on hazards, so we have 2 of them blinking. I'm not sure if they blink at the same time. No, they're not. But if you look at the back, they do blink at the same time. And then knowing that these already provide like the floodlight, we've got this 2000 lumen headlight at the front. This thing is awfully bright, and it's not like a spotlight like a circle. It's like a big line that goes across, and you can have it set across, I guess, your whole terrain of what you can see in front of you. And the light is extremely bright. On the left hand side, I've mounted my phone holder here. So we have these nice handlebars that you can mount pretty much anything you want on the handlebars. On the left hand side, we do have the Logan hydraulic brakes. We've got the 2 control systems, which, fun fact, I don't know if you guys watched that video, but I do have the module that did break itself, and we couldn't like add the modes. So we were stuck on mode 1 and couldn't get back up, but we did manage to fix it, and now it's completely fine. We do have the other button module, which uses all the lights and the indicators. So we've got our big light, we've got our 2 indicators, and we've got our horn. So the horn is pretty loud. It is a motorcycle horn. I'll do that now. So it is a pretty damn loud horn. It's definitely not quiet. I try not to use it when I'm around pedestrians and around like more narrowed and lots of congestion with people, as it can scare a bit of people because it is loud. And it sends that vibration from their horn into the whole like handlebar section, so you can feel the horn vibrate underneath you, and it is pretty loud. So I am thinking of getting a bicycle horn as well, or not bicycle horn, just a normal bicycle bell, as it is pretty damn loud. Then we go on to the right hand side. We've got the other Logan hydraulic brake, which is the front brake, and then we've got our thumb throttle down here. This works really well. There is a little bit of dead zone there, but I feel like that's kind of a good thing, because if you're at an intersection and you accidentally bump it with your chest, it's not gonna just launch into the intersection, whereas here you have a little bit of flex movement before it actually activates the motors and sends you flying. Then we'll go slowly down. Like I mentioned before, we have that 2000 lumen headlight, and we'll go down. We have this nice black stem here, so you have the possibility of mounting a backpack here or the bags that you can get off Amazon. Then we go all the way down, and then we've got our stem locking system. So it is one big clamp that goes up like that, and then you fold it down, you drop it back down, and then you clamp it. That is really nice and stable. It does not come apart at all, and there's no loose in that. There's nothing to move, and the stem is really stiff. Then we've got our 9-inch street tires. They are very smooth, and then we've obviously got the 1000 watt motors inside there. We've got a mini mudguard here that has a NAMI logo on it, and then you've got the 2 orange reflectors on the side, and we've got the plastic hubcap piece that protects the hubcap, so you can't damage or scrape it on anything like that. And then obviously we've got our suspension there, so we do have a C suspension here, which works really well. Then underneath that, we'll slowly move down. You can see that horn there. So that thing is big, like it's not a little horn. I'll try and show as much as I can. So you do have that big horn there. And then I'm not sure if you guys can see, there's like 2 little cables dangling, or if I got rid of them, that is a speed limiter there. So you can get rid of that speed limiter, and it enables us 2 massive dual 1000 watt motors. Then we've got this extremely robust kickstand here. As you can see, it has taken a bit of paint off it already because of how strong that spring is, but it is really nice. Like, it can hold up your scooter very nicely, and it's nice and strong, so it won't just fold over. Then we'll move to the back. We've got our hydraulic brakes here, and then we've got our cool light system at the back. I'll move the scooter around. So as you can see, we do have this light module here. So now I hold the brake, you can see how the brake light turns on, and then if we turn on our actual lights, it also turns like as an idle, and then if we hold the brake, it does turn brighter. Then we've got our 2 indicators on the right and left hand side. So if we turn on our left one, you can see it turns on. It is really bright during the nighttime and during the daytime, so pedestrians and vehicles and stuff like that can see which direction you're turning. And then if we turn on the other one, it does turn on hazard mode, which is pretty cool because they're in sync, unlike the front lights, which don't go in sync unfortunately, but these two do go in sync. And then obviously you can turn off the other one and show which direction you're turning, and then just turn it off. So here we've also got the Logan hydraulic brakes here. They are 2 pistons. They work extremely well, they're hydraulics, and I haven't had a single problem with these except for the regen braking. It's really jerky having the regen braking on with these ones, as you kind of don't even need it because these are so powerful and strong. And then as you can see, we do have this cool design on the actual rotor itself, like the brake caliper as well. It does look pretty damn nice. And then we've got this cool mudguard here. Get a bit dusty there. It works really well. Like honestly, when I first saw this, when I unboxed the scooter, I thought this here would be a flaw and the rain would go on me, and all the water and mud and stuff like that. But this has performed really well. It actually caught everything and I haven't been splashed. So this was really well designed. And then obviously we've got that kick plate at the back, so it just flicks it that way instead of going onto me. So we do have our nice NAMI display here. It is an LCD display. We do have all of our settings here. So at the top here we have the 2.0, so that's our speed that we're going. So that obviously increases the faster you go. Then we've got our odometer here. So currently we do have 172 kilometers on the scooter. And then if we use our power button, we can flick through the settings. So we've got our trip, and then we've got our voltage, which is 56.6. I'm pretty sure the max voltage we can get is 57 volts, so it's nicely fully charged. And then obviously our percentage there, so it's at 100%. And then we go back to the odometer. Then we've got this battery bar here, which indicates, I guess, another bar percentage. So we've got 3 different types of bar percentages that tells us how much battery we have left in the scooter. So we've got that one there, we've got the voltage, and then we've got the actual percentage. Then we've got here, we've got the modes. So you can flick through the modes. There's 3 modes on the scooter. So each mode has a set limit of how fast you can go. So obviously 3 is the unlimited version, so it goes like as fast as the scooter can actually possibly go. And then we've got this nice NAMI logo at the bottom, which shows NFC. Also with this scooter we do have 2 different options to select if we want kilometers an hour or miles an hour. So if you do live somewhere else than Australia or somewhere that doesn't use kilometers an hour, you can adjust that and set it to whatever you like. So this scooter does have NFC, so we'll hold our power button for 3 seconds. Then we'll see activate. You'll see the NAMI logo / the NFC there flashing at us. We grab our NFC card that is provided with the scooter. We tap it at the bottom there, and then it activates the screen nicely, and it has this cool effect of when it turns on. So now I'll show you guys how the folding system works here. So we do have that clamp at the bottom here. You pull that open, lift it up. Maybe a recommendation, turn off your scooter first before you do anything actually. So we'll turn that one off. There we go. So we'll lift this clamp up, all the way up. It slowly comes down, and then we do have this latch here where we hook it onto the bottom there, and then it latches on. Not sure if you guys can see that. It latches on here. It does come undone pretty easily though, so beware when you are lifting it around. So make sure that one's locked in there. And then obviously we can lift the scooter up. This scooter does weigh 29.9 kilos or 30 kilograms. I'll put the conversion rate of how much it is in pounds there. So we'll lift that scooter up. It's not the lightest thing, but it's not like heavy. So it definitely is a bit more work than some other commuter scooters, but that kind of makes sense why it's so heavy, is because we got that bigger battery and we do have the dual 1000 watt motors. Slide that back down, clamp it there, make sure the bolts are facing forward, because it does move around pretty easily, just like that, and then clamp it in. So now we'll get started on the pros and cons. So we've got that super loud horn, we've got a nice and bright display, we've got the really nice front and rear indicators, we've got the nice and wide handlebars, we've got impressive range and speed, we have the super comfy suspension, which is probably the best suspension I've honestly ridden on. We've got the really nice and strong kickstand at the bottom there, it does not fall over at all. We've got the extremely strong hydraulic brakes. They are very strong. They do lock up once you do slam on it, but they are pretty damn nice. We do have that super bright front light, which is 2000 lumens, which is ridiculous. And we've got the nice sleek black color going through the whole entire body. Even the handlebars, all the button modules, the grips, everything is full black. It's super sleek. And then obviously we've got the really nice street tires at the bottom. So now we'll get into the cons, or some things that I didn't really like or dislike about the actual scooter itself. So first of all, there are no side lights on the NAMI Super Stellar. There's legit no way you can see the scooter from the side unless you see the orange reflectors at the bottom, but there's nothing else to indicate that there's a scooter there, and there's no lights on the side. It could have dual charging ports. It would be nice for people who have to charge on the go, or they have to charge it up really quickly, because we do only have that single charging port there. The deck is on the smaller side of things. People who are taller than me, probably around like 6 foot or higher, you might have a problem having to find a comfortable position to hold your feet around, as the deck is a bit on the smaller side, unfortunately. The position of the horn, I have scraped that horn so hard once. I'll replay the video now. So as you guys can see, I nailed that horn into the curb. It hurt me because I felt that damage. It's like I was riding a beautiful scooter and I just scraped a part of it on the deck, on the bottom there. The horn is fine, there's nothing wrong with it, luckily, but it is a bit scraped on the bottom. It has like the three massive lines going down it, and it is pretty damn scratched up. So that is, I guess, unfortunate for me, as I smashed that. I would recommend NAMI moving the horn more to the back side, or to the actual back fully, or even at the front, like near the handlebar section, because that location there is pretty much every point when you get off a curb, you smash that horn on any curb. Then we've got the regen braking. It's bad. I did try and adjust the regen braking. I dropped it all the way down to level 1, and it is really hard to ride your scooter with it. It jumps me forward, it's really jerky, and it is difficult to actually like drive and then slam on it. Normally you have that nice smooth regen braking, whereas here it just jerks you forward every single time you try and brake, so probably not the best thing ever. The ground clearance isn't crazy. Like I said before, I did hit that horn. That's just because of how high the actual ground to the deck is. But that also is kind of a pro thing at the same time, of how low it is, because you do have that low center of gravity where you can easily take corners without feeling uncomfortable taking those corners, because it is nice and low. And then our last thing is a jerky throttle. Because of how much power it has, it still is able to jerk me forward, and I guess it is like jumpy, but it is, you can make it feel more comfortable if you learn how to use the thumb throttle a lot better. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was the in-depth review on the NAMI Super Stellar. I've really enjoyed this scooter. This scooter is probably the best mid-range scooter that I can recommend to anyone. The suspension's super comfy, tires are great, nice and loud horn, and the lights are super duper good. This is probably the best mid-range scooter that I can recommend. If you guys have any questions about this scooter that you want to possibly ask away in the comments down below, and I will be sure to reply to you as fast as I can. And obviously, if you guys do have any feedback on my videos, please let me know. And as always, ride safe and keep exploring.